right. Going to be doing Wednesday Comics live. And it is Wednesday. It is. Very early Wednesday, but Wednesday enough. So, in between doing reviews of different comic books, this will, and a bit different from the Sunday comics show, because the Sunday comic show is all these public domain comics and all that. So I can't read these comics in total. So I can pick a few pages and, talk about it. And that's what I do. But on the side of it, I picked certain stories. I think I did an overall review of Jack Kirby's New Gods and stuff like that. But zeroed in on Spider-Man's main arch nemesis, the Green Goblin. And it holds a certain spot for me, is that got me interested, which was actually the Hobgoblin story. But I knew of the Green Goblin from the Saturday cartoons and stuff like that when I was a kid. And this would have been very early 80s as this Hobgoblin story was unfolding, that and Secret Wars and all that. And became pretty hardcore serious about comic books after that. So anyway, thought I would delve into the overall story. And so I've been going through all the different Green Goblin stories up to this point, where, you had Norman Osborn and all that stuff. And then he would get amnesia and forget that Spider-Man was Peter Parker. And Spider-Man felt sympathetic towards him because he was the father of his best friend, Harry, and stuff like that. Plus, they said, well, he it's not his fault. He doesn't know what he's doing and all that sort of stuff. Boy, that turned out to be a mistake, because in the end, the Goblin ends up killing Peter's girlfriend, Gwen Stacy, and shortly dying, seemingly. They brought him back decades later, but nevertheless dies at the end of that story. So Harry succeeds him as the new Green Goblin, coming off of his battle with drugs, and then he coming out of that, blaming Spider-Man and Peter, of course, for the death of his father. And there's quite the battle between the two of them there. But Harry's ultimately defeated and sent to a sanitarium. And seems to have had some amount of recovery, but then his girlfriend dumped him. And looks like he went off the deep end, because suddenly Green Goblin shows up again and is on a tear, trying to convince New York's organized crime bosses to follow him as the main boss of, the organized crime of New York City. And he's offering to reveal the secret identity of Spider-Man to them. So they're all like, oh, yeah, that's quite a deal. So that's where the last issue left us. And so we'll pick up there. And here we have the cover. Once again, Aunt May's dying. Oh, dying Aunt May. We love her, but she's always dying. And, of course, Peter can't be there because, he's busy, So there's Mary Jane. She shows up and says, Aunt May is dying, again. And only Peter Parker can save her. But where is he? Well, he's right out the window. He's right there. Where else? He's in the grip of the Green Goblin. So that's the answer to Mary Jane's question. And as I recall, the story is she needed a blood transfusion. But then Spider-Man's blood is radioactive. I don't know. But anyway, that's the deal. And they can't get a hold of Peter. And I don't know, where is he? So we pick up where we left off last time. There's the Goblin telling the crime bosses about Spider-Man. So last issue, you may recall everyone's favorite web sling watched from a secluded air shaft. Wow, that thing is huge. As the maniacal Green Goblin triumphantly exclaimed, "My friends, I can eliminate Spider-Man for you permanently. You see, I know who Spider-Man really is. No, the Goblin is about to reveal my secret identity. And when he does, Spider-Man is finished." And he's just stepping all over the place and stuff. It's disgusting. So this title is Green grows the Goblin. Well, how much greener can he get? Is he going to turn his, what is that, violet suit green as well? Yeah. Anyhow, we jump ahead, copyright and all that. They have a big battle, and it interrupts, so the Goblin doesn't get to reveal Spider-Man's identity. And and since we already know Mary Jane's half of this conversation, we need only concern ourselves with Peter's response, which is predictable. What? Get back to the hospital, Mary Jane. I'm on my way. So Aunt May has collapsed, and Mary Jane's calling Peter, and he's like, no. So, and true to his word, Lord, this is all my fault. It's always his fault. The martyrdom complex of Peter Parker, not even Batman can hold a candle to that. He's just constantly blaming himself. All the worrying she's done over me all these years, all the pressures. Well, whatever it takes, whatever it costs, she's going to get well again. Yes, again. And I'm going to make it up to her for, no, you're going to be busy doing Spider-Man stuff. Anyway, my spider sense tingling suddenly. Something behind me, but what? Oh, no, a pumpkin bomb. Boom. It's one of the Green Goblin's pumpkin bombs. And there you go. It blows up. Chars his ass. And, oh no, they got to get into this battle again. That screwy ghost thing expanded in midair. Again, I skipped some pages. Copyright, It's become some sort of knitting, completely entangling me. Well, there he is. It's one of the Goblin's many weapons he keeps in his little satchel. Meanwhile, this guy's just reading the paper, doesn't care. Anyway. And you need not struggle to escape, insect. That net is formed from a polymer plastic, stronger than steel. There's always stuff stronger than steel. Like Spider-Man spiderwebbing, Anyway, now there are some associates of mine who are simply dying to meet you. And we don't want to keep them waiting now, do we? Can't break free. Please, Aunt May, forgive me. So here we go. We end where the cover showed us how it would end. I guess that was Mary Jane at the window, sitting by Aunt May, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, while in May Parker's hospital room, hang on, Mrs. Parker. Please hang on just a little while longer. Your nephew, Peter, will be here any second now to sign the surgical consent for... Oh, yeah, that's what it is. You needed a family member to sign it. Otherwise, I guess you had an NDR or something. So if you don't authorize the surgery, she's done. So, and once he does, everything is going to be fine. But there he is, stuck in the Goblin's plastic wrap bag, He's like, no, damn it. And off he goes, flying away. So, oh no, it's terrible. So what happens next issue? Well, if you think things can get much worse, true believer, you'd better be here next time for Ring Around the Goblin. I wonder where they got that from. And you'll see how wrong you are. Oh, it's just going to get worse. Next issue for, Spider-Man and all that. Let's see here. Dominic, this Nelson voted for Joe Biden. Okay. Yeah. No, I did not. Affinity, the timey-wimey limey. Popcorn, I guess. Anyway, thanks for showing up. Now, let me switch to the other. Yeah, there we go. This is all behind the scenes stuff, you understand. No, yeah, that one. That should be it. That's it. Yeah, there we go. All right. So we're going to jump ahead to the next issue, which will also be skipped about because of copyright and all that stuff. You understand? Yes, I'm certain you do. So here we have Green Goblin and Spider-Man and Silverman which, as I mentioned in the previous video, this is a significant moment in Silvermane's life. As it doesn't end for him here. He shows up, and as far as I know, he's probably still one of the Spider-Man villains going forward. But it really all starts here. A new chapter in his life. So,
you've had it, web slinger. You can never beat both of us.
The Goblin's right. Between him and Silvermane, I'm helpless. What are the odds a guy named Silvermane would actually have a shock of silvery hair, you know? Theater of Fury. But I thought it was Ring Around the Goblin. The Goblin's always greener. You know, Green Grows the Goblin was they changed these titles. He had promised us Ring Around the Goblin, but, well, whatever. So there he is. Ha, ha, and he's got Spider-Man in the plastic wrap.
Struggling will not help you, web slinger. There's nothing that can save your hide this time.
But I have to break free. I have to. At this very moment, my poor Aunt May is dying, and I'm the only person who can save her. Well, so anyway, Spider-Man managed to break free. They got in a fight and all that, and Goblin's really pissed. And his Goblin glider was badly damaged, and he barely made it back to his secret hideout. And there you can see it off to the side where it crashed onto the floor there. So anyway, so he's babbling on about his plans and stuff to this prisoner he's got.
That is why Silvermane sought to destroy me, and why I, in turn, must now destroy him. During our previous encounter, I planted a miniature transmitter upon his person, thus enabling me to find Silvermane again at my discretion. And now that I've replaced my damaged equipment out... Oh, it's all right, my friend. I'll be coming back for you. Now, don't you feel better? Answer me when I ask you a question, you microcephalic moron! The Green Goblin will not be ignored! I covered your face because I couldn't bear to look at it, fool. Make me angry, and I may simply remove your face at the neck. I've tried to be nice because I felt I owed you something. But if you keep annoying me, you may end up sharing Silvermane's fate.
And with a maniacal giggle, he is gone. Oh, so I guess he's... So anyway, the big battle, he finds Silvermane at this theater and decides to take him out. And then Spider-Man shows up. And oh boy, it can only take so much weight on the Goblin glider. So hang on, Silvermane, I'll get you out of this mess. Though, for the life of me, I don't know why.
Get off, web slinger! Get off! My glider isn't powerful enough to support the three of us!
So you can never have a fat goblin. The glider won't work.
Now you've really done it. You fool, we're falling! And from this height, not one of us is likely to survive.
Which makes it a really lousy time for my webbing to snap under the strain. It was the only thing that stood between us and oblivion. Now it's gone. Oh shit. It's a good thing all the seats are empty. Well, when they showed up and had their battle and stuff, everybody, fled. Wow. They're not telling us what happens next issue, huh? Oh, wait. Oh, it kind of spoiled this little surprise. So it's been teasing that this must be Harry's psychiatrist held hostage after he broke from the guy's office, But it has been a long, hard struggle, crossing the dusty warehouse floor, twisting his numbed body around until he could finally touch the fallen Bat-glider, then rubbing his rope-burned wrist back and forth along the metal's roughed edge again and yet again. But all in all, it has been worth it. His head fairly swims as he unties the constricting ropes, and feels his blood begin to circulate once more. For it is blood that all but boils in frustrated fury. Dun, dun, dun. Leave us face it, folks. After all this time in helpless captivity, Harry Osborn is furious, and he intends to do something about it. Arr, I'm furious. I didn't have a chance to brush my teeth, so I've been smelling my own halitosis in this damn mask the whole time. It's horrible. So next issue, if Harry Osborn was the captive, then be with us next time for Who Was That Goblin I Saw You With? And perhaps we'll find out. Gee, I wonder if that's going to be the title. Will it survive the 30 days in between? I don't know. We'll just have to go check it out and see, whatever. So, all right, let me pause that and get the next issue ready to go. Does it? Nope. All right. Stop the share. And here we are. Bloop. Bloop. Make sure. Yeah, it's there. All right. So here's the final issue of this bizarre tale of the Green Goblin. So anyway, here we go. No, it's not possible. You can't be the Green Goblin.
You're right, Webhead. He isn't the Goblin, but I am.
Oh no, this is it. The climax of the most sensational Spidey saga of all. Gee, I wonder who that could be. So, yeah, things don't look good here. So, Radio City Music Hall, it has been called the nation's showplace. And to some, that may well be true. But to the Green Goblin, the crime czar called Silvermane, and everyone's favorite web slinger. There are more? Well, they are now. As they plunge helplessly through space, it is a bizarre arena which may well become their final resting place. It won't. This is it. The sense-shattering climax of the most sensational Spider-Man saga of all. The story which answers the burning question, who was that goblin I saw you with? Well, they kept true to the title. Isn't that nice? There you go. Well, that's great. So anyway, back at the Goblin secret hideout, the Goblin managed to get back on his glider. Spider-Man, I think, managed to get another web out. I forget. And Silvermane, well, nobody bothered to save him. He plummeted and smashed into the seats and was taken away. His body was, completely broken and stuff. Later on, he gets a cyborg body. Oh, yeah. Oh, it's long-winded story for old Silvermane. So anyway, and even as Joe Robertson mutters a silent prayer for the web slinger's safety, Spider-Man ended up getting attacked by the Goblin. That's right. He didn't save himself. He was falling, but the Goblin managed to zap him and abduct him while he let Silvermane splat down below. Which is, he came to kill the guy, so. So anyway, they hear about the story at Radio City, Music City Hall, and so Robbie Robertson's like, oh no, man, I hope Spider-Man makes it. So now we must turn our attention to a now familiar warehouse on Manhattan's Lower East Side, the hidden headquarters of the Green Goblin. So there it is. The Goblin himself is not here now, of course. But this musty old tenement has not gone unoccupied in his absence. In the shadows, there sits an anxious figure, rubbing wrists and ankles which still chafe from the ropes which had bound them. It has taken him a while to free himself, quite a while, and now Harry Osborn intends to make up for lost time. Lord, I'm responsible for putting a maniac on the streets. I've got to do something about him, but... What? Oh, of course. It's really pretty ironic, my putting on this hideous costume again this way. Is there another one? No. It was wearing my outfit that got me into this mess in the first place. But what other choice do I have? I soiled my other clothes, so I need a change. Harry Osborn can do nothing to stop the terrible menace I've unleashed.
But the Green Goblin can do plenty.
So there you go. He's ready to go. So the other Goblin intended to kill Spider-Man at the site where he had earlier killed his own clone. That's a whole other separate story. But this Goblin knew about it. and decided to drop Spider-Man down a smokestack. But it didn't work out that way. He broke free, and now they're fighting. That's what all the Napoleons over at Bellevue say, Harry, before they... Huh?
Blast it! Blast you, insect! Stop calling me Harry! Harry Osborn is a nobody, a non-entity. He isn't worth the space he takes up upon this earth. I am the Green Goblin, and soon I'll be master of the world.
No, Harry. Once, maybe you had a future. Once, you could have been anything you wanted to be. But now, you're nothing. A frustrated little child throwing tantrums at the world. And that's all you'll ever be, Harry. Unless you let me help you.
Why? Why are you still standing? Why don't you fall?
Face it, Harry, it's over. The time has finally come for you to take off this mask and... Hey, you're not Harry. You're his psychiatrist, Bart Hamilton. Huh. Great service there from the psychiatrist, huh? Well, what's the story here? Well, we're going to find out. Indeed, Webslinger, the one and the only true Green Goblin. But why? How? It's really quite simple, is it? As the psychiatrist assigned to cure Harry Osborn of his criminal insanity, I placed him under hypnotic regression and was astonished by the many secrets he thus revealed to me. The entire detailed history of the Green Goblin. Naturally, I decided to check out the veracity of Harry's statements and discovered every single one of them was true. I found it, the Goblin's hideout, complete with all the trappings. Yep, that's them. And what do you know? The suit fits. Anyway, the possibilities intrigued me. Here was my chance to write the definitive thesis on the workings of the criminal mind from the criminal's point of view. Cautiously, I began to experiment with the Goblin's equipment and felt a sense of power such as I had never known before. So he got turned on about all the stuff, you know. So, of course, he's like, I got to try this suit on. Slowly, I came to realize that the secrets of the Green Goblin were far too precious to be shared. They had to be mine, and mine alone, for only I was truly worthy of them. There was so much for me to do, so many injustices to be revenged, but not before I removed the greatest obstacle to my inevitable victory. And that, of course, was you. Harry had already revealed your true identity to me. So, you know, he sought out Spider-Man, fought him and all that. Fight. And then suddenly here comes the other Goblin, which we now realize is Harry, you know. And they're fighting over who gets to be the Goblin and all that stuff. So anyway, and I promise you it's going to be me. You don't seriously believe that, do you?
I was wearing this costume long before you ever saw it, and I'll be wearing it long after you're gone.
Like grotesque gargoyles loosed from some nightmare, the emerald-clad adversaries clash in mindless fury. A clash which can only end in disaster. Fool! You've unseated us both.
Does that frighten you, Hamilton? It shouldn't. Nothing should frighten you more than me.
You're insane, Osborn. More insane than I could ever have imagined. Come on, Harry. Stop arguing and save yourself. What? To the web slinger's dismay. Holy Hannah. They hit that roof like the proverbial ton of bricks. Is this... It looks like it already has a hole in it. So did they just fall through the same hole? Anyway. So Harry decides... He's sickened by the whole thing, so he tears off the Goblin suit and whatnot and says it's all stupid and terrible and only crazy people would want to be the Goblin. So Hamilton gets upset, pulls out a bomb, but doesn't realize he's on this conveyor belt, and whoops. No, not now. It can't happen now. But it can, and it does. Boom. That's it for Bart. And Dr. Barton Hamilton doesn't even have time to protest before he is thrown away with the rest of the trash. Yeah. So anyway, this whole place is coming down around our ears, and Harry is still out for the count. I've got to shield him from the falling debris. And when the dust has finally settled, it's over, and we're still among the living. Thank heaven for small favors. Several more anxious minutes passed. Then I peeled off the rest of Harry's goblin outfit. I didn't realize he was naked underneath, so I had to quickly dash across the street to get some clothes. And now he's finally regaining consciousness. Where am I? What happened to me? You were in a little accident, Harry, but you're going to be fine now. An accident? It feels more like I'm waking up from a nightmare. Maybe you are, old buddy, but the nightmare is finally over. Well, there we go. After this, Harry's reunited with his girlfriend who got over her BS and came back to him. So, hey, it's all fine. It's just, boy, I tell you, when you have mental breakdowns, the last thing you want to do is come under the care of a psychiatrist who wants to wear tights and fly around on a bat. I mean, look, that bat glider's a cool thing. That would be fun to have around, you know. But all those years of getting, going to school, getting his license, setting up his practice, and this is how it ends. Well, that's quite a bang to end it on, you know. Yeah. So anyway, the moral of the story is don't wear goblin costumes. And interestingly enough, for all intents and purposes of the Green Goblin story, I mean, obviously you can say it really comes to an end with the death of Norman Osborn, but Harry succeeded him, but only briefly. And then there's this one where they play footsie with it and make you think it's Harry back, but no, it was his crazy doctor and all that. And then it's over. After this, that's it for the Green Goblin for a long time. Because in quite a few years after this, a couple. I mean, it seems like a lot. Then it's the Hobgoblin. Weird. Now, Green Goblin would show up in cartoons and Spider-Man and his amazing friends, which was odd. They introduced that where Norman Osborn would become the Goblin by, like the Hulk. He would get upset and turn into it. Yeah, well, whatever. So that's it. That's where it kind of ends for the Goblin story. And then Hobgoblin comes along and had a good, cool run at first and then fizzles and falls apart and then kind of becomes sort of a joke, really. And then there were multiple Hobgoblins. And then Norman Osborn comes back from the great beyond. Turns out he wasn't dead. He was just hanging out in Europe, waiting for his big comeback. There were other Green Goblins, after the Norman Osborn thing, and there was some guy who was a Green Goblin superhero or something. But the main Green Goblin story kind of closes at this point. Gets resurrected, but you know how it goes. That's comic books for you. There's really nothing else to be said. So anyway, there's my obligation for the Wednesday Comics video. And I've done, obviously, live streams of Sunday Comics, but I have yet to have done a Wednesday Comics one. And now I did. I think this is the first one. I could be wrong about that, too. It's possible. I know. It's rare. Sometimes I'm wrong. A. Thompson shows up as I'm about to close everything up. Nailsin voted Biden. I don't know about Nailsin, but Dominic's making a joke that I'm not going to repeat. That stays over on the Pat Show. Yeah. That's the deal. A. Thompson, Doug is the White Goblin. That probably is one of the titles that idiot group had. what do they call themselves? The Dragon or some crap. But then I guess there were certain rankings. All right, Doug, you're the Goblin. Okay. The White Goblin. Well, let's see. They had the Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. There wasn't well, his mask was kind of a yellowish green, so it wasn't as green as the Green Goblins. Then there was the Red Goblin. Yeah, they had a Red Goblin, which I think had the symbiote or something and kind of became like a devil character. Then there was Demo Goblin, the goblin who, the hobgoblin who got possessed by a demon or whatever. And then there was, the Golden Goblin, which was Norman Osborn becoming a good guy. So, A. Thompson, Rumble no good for phone. Yeah, well, I'm on YouTube, so don't worry about it. A. Thompson, cows like snow? No, they do not. They did not like it at all. In the summer when it rains, they do like that because, it's hot and they get relief from all that water. But it's already cold in wintertime, so the snow is just adding to the problem. So they didn't care for that. Not at all. They were mad and bellowing, and they're still upset about it. They think I did it, but I didn't. I honestly didn't. But, they're dumb cows. They don't believe me. I don't know. How am I supposed to convince them that, hey, I didn't use my little thing there. There it is. Yeah, better late than never, I guess. So anyway, but they'll get over it. Don't worry. I think we're done for snow this year or this couple of decades before it does it again. It's certainly not on that level. Anyway, but they'll be fine. Don't worry about the cows. All right. Thanks for showing up and watching me read these old Spider-Man comics. And maybe I'll have something for next Wednesday. I don't know. I'm getting kind of tired of it, really. I know that should mean something coming from me, shouldn't it? But maybe I'll just do them live all the time and just get it over with. That could be the deal. I don't know. But anyway, there we go. Wednesday comics with your old pal, Mr. Nailsin. I got to do the Doomcock show later on Wednesday evening, and then stop by Pat's show, and hopefully I can squeeze in a live stream then and actually draw something. But I'm not sure. I'm behind on things I want for the podcast and stuff I wanted to do for Crime Report. Probably won't get to it. Fortunately, there's one I already did, and it can fill the void for New York Post stories. But otherwise, no, can't do it. It's too bad. It would have been fun. Damn. Anyway, that's all I got. Have a good night. This is the theme song. But it is. Well, anyway, look at comics. Yes, indieplanet.com/Douglas Nailsin. You head to that and you'll take a look at, the comics you see here. That's right. Wait a minute. Any good movies lately? Nosferatu was fun. There's a Vietnamese horror series, Devil's Diner. Check it out. It's on Netflix. Okay. Devil's Diner. According to the Green Freaks, like the Goblin, the cows' farts did it. Oh, yes. Yes. It only took 2 days in office and Donald Trump solved global warming. Yeah. That music is nice. Yes, it's called, is it Blippy Trance? Blippy Trance? I think that's it. By Kevin MacLeod. Yeah. Yeah. All right, this time I mean it. I'm taking off. So again, thanks for showing up and have a good night.